at Rutgers. This transition has really been smooth. It's a great staff. Coach Ash has done a really, really good job, just laying a foundation here and really just building this thing to where it's really about to take some huge steps and to the next level. I really believe this place is going somewhere. Really, like I said, my family and I are really excited to be here. Been a pleasure this spring to work with the corners. Really, really talented group. Looking at that group as an outsider in college football, really, saw those guys do a lot of good things. We've had some really good coaches here and some guys that have done a good job in developing those guys and recruiting in that room. I kind of joke with people. My day one, I told those guys my job is to try not to, come in and mess anything up. You know what I mean? And jack this thing up because it was already pretty good. So I'm just trying to enhance, just trying to work with these guys on what I tell them is taking it to the next level. From everything from understanding pre-snap adjustments and alignments, splits of receivers, formations, to where those things, what I say is they tell you a story. And if you can get a chance to begin to read the story that the offense is telling you, you got a better chance of understanding what's coming at you and being more prepared to react faster when you see things happening in front of you. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing we've done is help these guys grow just from a football IQ standpoint at the position to where they can begin to see things and diagnose things a little sooner.
Cory, who really stuck out to you this spring?
Really, like I said, the entire group. I mean, it's really a talented group. I mean, the guys that have played, they got some guys in that room that played a lot of football. I think they had some injuries and some things that forced some dudes to play even more snaps than probably you would like. But really, when we think about Bless Austin, who is coming off an injury, and I mean, really been a bright spot for us in a limited role and things that he's done. More importantly, he's becoming a leader outside of being on the field where he can't physically contribute as much. He's really taking a role of coaching those guys, really encouraging those guys on a down in and down out basis, as well as in the classroom, in the meeting rooms. Really stepped up his role. Isaiah Wharton has been really solid and consistent across the board this entire spring. Really smart player, knows what he's supposed to be. Puts himself in really good positions to make plays, and has confidence in doing it. And then Damon Hayes and Trey Avery, two young guys, and Damon obviously has been a starter and played a lot. He's a really tremendous athlete for his size. Can run, he's quick, and it matters. Football matters a lot to that kid. He works at his craft, and and then Trey Avery's just got a it factor about him. That just he just finds himself in positions again to make plays on the ball, and he's very active and physical in the run game. So those guys, I would say right now in that room have really done a good job this spring.
I guess what are some of the things you've asked Bless to work on since he's not able to be out on the field and do as much? Maybe stuff that you can focus on now.
Well, I tell him, focus on, seeing things from a coaching perspective. It's ironic that, everybody I've spoken to when they played the game and had a chance to coach shortly after being a player, everybody's perspective has been, or at least majority's perspective has been the same, that, hey man, if I'd have known these things that I know as a coach when I was a player, I would have been a much better player. So I've challenged him to take on the role of a coach from his perspective, from his viewpoint, being able to see it, being able to hear what's being taught, and seeing how things are supposed to happen, so that when he does come back as a player, maybe the game slows down a little bit for him. Maybe the game, he can see it from a different lens that'll help him when he has a chance to get back on the field and play. So we've challenged him more so mentally. But physically, he really can do everything that we ask him to do. He can go out there and play right now. But it's, again, just being smart about it, making sure that we, attack his rehab and get him back full throttle so he's ready to go come this summer.
What struck you about, what struck you about Bless when you first showed up here from, him as a person, him as a worker?
Well, obviously, you got a chance to watch a ton of film. He's played a lot of football, and he's just a tremendous player and a tremendous talent. He competes. He's hungry, and then physically, he looks good. He's got a really good physique about him at that position that makes him kind of ideal for what you want. So it didn't, that nothing really surprised me. I will say, he's a lot more humble than you would think for a guy that kind of has the success that he's had in this program. But he comes to work ready to work every day. Open-minded, willing to learn. He's a very respectful kid. Comes from a good home. So I would just say his humility might be what has surprised me, if anything.
Cory, as the pass game coordinator, what does that role entail, working with John, I guess, and the opposite staff?
I was the defensive pass game coordinator, so I don't touch
okay.
anything on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, pretty much, just working with Coach Ash and just kind of, being another eye and just ear as we start to develop the coverages and what we want to do and just kind of how can we tweak certain things to get more out of, from a coverage standpoint, out of the defense. So that's pretty much it. Again, just being a team player, and then with Coach Neiman, following his lead, and whatever he needs us to do, we just go out there and get it done.
Time for two more?
How much can Damon come out here and benefit from the fact that, he was thrown into a starting position, had to start 8 games last year? How much can that benefit him moving forward now?
Oh, tremendously. I mean, he's a starter. He's a seasoned guy, ready to play, ready to move forward, and there's no better teacher than experience. And he's gotten a chance to get some of that game rep, game experience.
Cory, you've had success recruiting early on. A lot of people speak highly of you. What do you attribute that to? And just talk about your recruiting philosophy.
Well, it starts with recruiting. Starts at the top. And Coach Ash's philosophy on recruiting is that recruiting is the lifeblood of the program. He's a dynamic recruiter himself, and so just getting a chance to sit back and watch how he does things and learn how he does things has really helped me grow as a recruiter. And for me, it's about relationships. The area that I recruit for heavily, the DMV, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I was a high school coach in that area for about 6 years, and spent a lot of time really in the region and in the country developing relationships with high school coaches and with people that develop athletes that we're going to recruit. So for me, it's tapping into those areas that I have relationships and people who trust me. And then when I get a chance to meet with these young people, it's just about again a genuineness to wanting them to be successful, genuineness to wanting them to have success in life in general, not just the school that we're recruiting them to play for. That's been my philosophy as a coach, no matter where I've been. And so I would say just that's probably what attributes to it, just the relationships, and again learning from the foundation that Coach Ash has here, as it relates to recruiting.
Thanks, Coach.